Hey kids, it's time to get some SML podcast all up in that.
What's up, everybody? This is the SML podcast. I am your host, Joe. Joining as usual, Cole. How are you doing?
I'm a human sausage, and I don't feel good, but I'm here. Exist. Sausage.
You're a sausage.
But, yeah, and it's pretty miserable. I'm rocking a flare. Stress and rain have got to me. I'm tired. I'm trying to make myself say it properly. Tired. I caught myself on it about part way, so it was a little too late. But I don't have the energy or the hitherto to control the accent. Is what I'm saying.
That's
and
fine.
The longer this goes, the worse it's gonna get.
So this is a marathon stream tonight. That's right. 24 hours nonstop podcast. Surprised Jacob didn't tell you about that.
Yeah. RedDeerGames will be super excited because he's been wanting to hear the unfiltered accent for a while.
I'm surprised he actually wants to hear you talk. But
yeah, it's a struggle right now. And good luck. It's going to be a long show.
Oh, well. Should we dive into news, or is there anything anyone wants to talk about before we get to news?
I mean, you didn't ask how I'm...
Fine, Jacob, how are you doing?
Oh,
fucking Christ. I don't have attention, no matter what the fuck is going on.
Well,
is my mic on?
Well, now I just don't want to tell you. You're going to be like that. Unlike most of the episodes, like I like legit woke up. I honestly, I think I woke up at 8:59. And then realized like what time it was. I don't recall either of the alarms that I set. I had an incredibly stressful evening tonight because I was downstairs about ready to make the kids dinner tonight, and the oven wasn't coming on. Like I'm pushing like the buttons on it, nothing's happening. Like the gas will like hiss, you know. So if like I wanted to like poison us all, I could do that, but that wasn't really my aim this evening.
No.
This evening.
So like,
that could change tomorrow evening.
It could. So like I'm downstairs like in the basement, like I'm flicking breakers and all this other kind of shit, and I eventually like I'm just like, great, we're gonna have the landlord come over and check it out, which means that like we now have to clean up a bunch of shit, like, and I'm just mentally not okay with it, and like so I'm cleaning the stovetop, and on top of it, like it's this fucking Magic Chef oven from like 1970s maybe. I think we can't tell because we can't find any of like the model number or the serial number or any of that kind of stuff. And when you go online, it's like, oh well, there's like 8 different fucking places where the Magic Chef will put the serial number, and like I'm pulling back like the stove, and like it's not on the back, it's not on the side, it's not when you pull down the drawer, it's not when you pull up the fucking top thing, it's nowhere. And it like, so I'm there like stress cleaning the top of the stove, and like I look to my right and I'm just like, oh, there's an electrical outlet with a reset button on it. So I'm just like, I push the reset button just to see like, oh, let's see what fucking happens. And all of a sudden the fucking lights come on the fucking stove, and I'm like, what the fuck? So
wow.
I know, dude, it like, and by like the end of it, I was just like, this is not the day I needed. And like I was just like so mentally stressed because like my work week has been shot to hell, and then this, and I'm just like, can I just have one fucking normal week, please?
And unfortunately, now you're here.
Well, this is probably the most normal part of my week, which is awful.
That's really bad.
Yeah. I mean, at least this can be counted for consistency. So, yeah. So now I'm fucking here, and this is my day.
Welcome.
If you give me $5, I'll tell it again.
No, that's okay.
If you give me $10, I won't tell it again.
You're talking about consistency. Someone that's been really consistent has been Microsoft with their consistently terrible games with gold offerings.
Ooh. Did they announce them this week?
Yes, they did.
Oh, fun. I didn't know this.
They're mediocre.
I would argue that the first one is a good game, but a very niche game.
I mean, there's 4 solid games. They're just 4 niche-y games.
Yeah.
Xbox One is getting Armello.
So come on.
I didn't bitch. I said it was good.
You guys are like, it's mediocre.
I didn't say that. Don't put words in my mouth.
Now, I said the month offering was mediocre. I didn't say the games were mediocre. I said that the offering as a whole.
Whatever.
Listen,
all
Dick.
that gas done went to your brain. You didn't have enough brain cells to lose.
Xbox One is getting Armello. And then Dungeons 3 as well.
I don't have any idea what Dungeons 3 is.
Didn't we review it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we reviewed it.
By we, you ain't mean me.
Oh my god. Wait a second. Lego Batman. Hello?
Yeah, what? Why are you, like, jumping ahead?
Sorry. I looked at it, and I was just like, oh my god. Ugh.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
You're the worst.
Sorry.
You're the worst. You get distracted and then, like, halt the show. Speaking of halting the show, Root Beer's my jam with a 24-month resub. Purnell got to interrupt the show.
I would like to also interrupt and thank Root Beer because Root Beer sent me a controller for the Switch, so hopefully I would play the Switch more.
Ooh.
And it's very nice. I'm looking forward to it. I did say I was going to use it more to play more D-Land. So I haven't had a chance yet because I have NieR right now, and that's consuming everything, unfortunately.
Which it should.
It should. It's a huge ass game. It's going to take me forever. But I'm looking forward to using the new controller to play more D-Land. So thank you, Root Beer.
Yay, Root Beer. Root Beer's just kicking all kinds of ass.
Such a good bean.
Unlike the games with gold line.
There's a phrase I haven't heard in a while.
But yeah, the Xbox 360 lineup, first half of the month is Lego Batman, which not bad.
Can I interrupt?
Go ahead.
Yeah, can I interrupt on that? That actually is really fucking cool about that because the previous Lego sale that they had on Xbox, Lego Batman was the only title that is currently available that was not a part of the sale.
Well,
for
that's
whatever
good.
reason.
Probably because they were giving it away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and now that totally makes sense because I was actually bitching to my wife during the Lego sale because I was like, oh, well, they have Lego Batman 2. Sweet, I'll pick that up. And then I also finally got Lego Worlds, and there was one other one where it was like the lowest that it's ever been, and I was just like, oh, sweet, I'll finally get it. And then I was like, wait a fucking second, Lego Batman, the first one, is not available. Why the hell isn't this part of the sale? So, rock on.
That's probably because they put shit on sale and then it goes to games with gold or Game Pass and then everybody wants a fucking refund.
So they thought ahead this time.
Yeah, they finally thought ahead this time and didn't do that because I know a shit ton of people refunded Control because they bought it on sale and then like literally a week later it was in Game Pass.
Well, I mean, at least this one makes sense for why it was, why it's on Games with Gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then second half of the month, Tropico 4.
I love Tropico.
But still very niche-y. Like I said, they're not bad games. It's just as a month, you look at the month, Armello, Dungeons 3, Lego Batman, the original, and Tropico 4, when like 6 is out now.
You know what I thought about that was why 4 and not 5?
It's a 360 title. I mean, they're not working on it anymore, so it's probably like a whatever thing.
No.
And also, don't they always try to make it like 2 Xbox One, 2 Xbox 360 games a month?
Yeah, but I mean, they also usually, when it comes to a game in a series, they'll do the last one to try to promote the newest one.
Well, wait. Well, what's Tropico on? It's on 5. I saw it, isn't it?
No, it's on 6. I did 6 a while ago. Wow, glad to know he pays attention.
Cole, you know I don't listen to your reviews.
They're the only good part of this show.
That I can't deny that part.
There is no good part of this show. Don't lie.
The music,
yeah, the music.
It's not by us, so
that is fair. The music's pretty banging. So anyway, PlayStation Plus was also announced.
Oh, see, now I haven't seen this list.
No, you haven't. This one is a solid lineup, but not as good as recent months.
Okay.
PS4 is getting Battlefield 5, which, okay, not bad.
Okay.
And then Stranded Deep, which isn't that like somewhat abandoned, or am I thinking of a different game?
I'm not sure if it was abandoned, but I definitely remember playing it and wishing it had been abandoned. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I haven't heard a lot of good about Stranded Deep.
Rude.
Mm-mm.
So that one I was kind of like, eh.
And that's my shit. That's my kind of game as well. So it absolutely should have been one that I was like, fuck yeah, this is great. And I was like, whoa, why are they doing this to me? So, yeah.
I'm sorry. How were you like that?
Oh.
That needs to become a soundbite.
Oh, Jesus. No. And then PlayStation 5 nailing it again. PS5 getting another awesome game, Wreckfest.
Okay.
Yeah, the PS5 version of Wreckfest will be free to play for PS Plus owners.
For like the whole 2 people that have a PS5. Not including Pernell, because his is in a box in the corner.
Yeah.
Everybody else, like the other 2 that have it, they get Wreckfest. That's great. Enjoy.
Yeah, we have to stress, though, that Wreckfest is for PS5 only. It is not for the PS4 version of Wreckfest. You do not get that version.
Okay.
So PS5 only, which has enhanced features and stuff that isn't on Xbox yet, which I'm kind of annoyed about. They said it's coming later on in the year. I wonder if this PlayStation Plus deal had an effect on releasing the update on Xbox.
Well, I assume we're going to get, I don't know, did we talk about it before? Where there was like that leak of the contracts with PlayStation, and basically it was all like, you can't put your shit in Game Pass for a year if you sign this, and
with,
like it has to,
with
can't
Resident
release
Evil.
you can't release any updates that make your game better on Xbox than it is on PlayStation. It has to have parity between the, like, everybody was like, oh my god, the Series S is gonna hold them all back, and then like it's like, no, it's PlayStation. But here we are.
Okay, so they did actually confirm that thing was legit.
I don't know if it was or not. That's what I was in a roundabout way getting to anyway, because I just remember seeing it and I was like, ooh, I'm sure we'll talk about that.
I thought we talked about that a few weeks ago.
I don't remember.
If it is, it was an episode I wasn't on, so.
Those are the good ones.
Yeah, they are. I finally get some fucking sleep on a Thursday night.
You joke that PS5 is only in 2 users' hands. It actually has topped 7.8 million units.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's shipments are over 7.8 million.
It's not bad.
And PS4 is 115.
Like, I would be curious what the numbers were if there weren't the whole shortage, you know? Like if
same with Xbox, you can only wonder what numbers could be.
I hesitate to compare them in any kind of way. I don't really particularly care. I know, like, I have a stint on here where I'm like, PlayStation's bad, but realistically, I don't give a fuck. And so, hearing the numbers for PlayStation makes me go, well, what were they? What could they have been? Like, how many people are still out there? Hell, it's still part of the Newegg Shuffle, right?
I don't know, is it?
It is. That's why, you know.
I don't pay attention to Newegg.
It wasn't meant to be properly answered. It was just a statement. It's still on the Newegg Shuffle. Like, and they only sell them as a bundle. But,
Yeah, I still get emails from GameStop. It's like, we're going to have them tomorrow. Be prepared.
And it's still super limited. Like, so I don't know. At least they're doing
7.8 million PS5s have been sold. 7 million to scalpers, 800,000 to actual people that wanted one.
That is not wrong. There are still people on my local Facebook groups that are scalping both consoles, and I just see them with the $1,000 Xboxes going, yeah, good luck with that, buddy. It's funny too, because you can watch and like they'll list it for 1,000. And then a week later, ain't nobody giving them scalpers no money. And so it goes down to like $950, $925, $900, $750. Then it just starts dropping. And then finally somebody will scoop it up when it hits like $600 or whatever. But you're like,
it depends on your area. Some areas you could still get like $800 for a PS5.
That's the thing. These are dumb rednecks that think that
you should be capitalizing on this. You should be going to your redneck Walmart, picking up all of the fancy human technology.
Yeah, I should be entering in the new egg shuffles is what I should be doing, and then just flipping them.
Yeah, with your luck.
Well,
win
I
them all
did
and
get
then
a
flip
white
them.
3060 yesterday.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Okay, but in my defense, I didn't get to buy it because I won the shuffle, and then I discovered that because we paid cash for a car this month, we hit the spending limit on our debit card, and it's been frozen for the last week.
Oh.
I can't pay my bills or anything until the first of the month because they froze my card. So that added insult to injury that they sent me the email and were like, this is the exact version of 3060 you've been waiting for at MSRP. And you can't have it.
Sucks.
I cried. I was so upset.
You want to know what'll cheer you up?
Maybe. Is it actually going to cheer me up, or are you being like a dick and you're going to make me cry again?
I don't know. That's just a segue to get back to news.
Oh, okay, then let's try this. Let's see what happens.
Game Pass news.
Okay, I like Game Pass.
Dragon Quest Builders 2 is hitting Xbox One and Windows 10 on May 4th for $49.99 or as a part of Xbox Game Pass.
That's a pretty big get.
That is fucking awesome. It is so, like, this is something that's been rumored to be coming to Xbox for a while. Like, they would have E3 leaks and they'd be like, Dragon Quest Builders 2. And I'm like, that one makes sense. That one would probably do well on Xbox, given how many people love Minecraft on Xbox.
Yeah, true.
So it's good to see this one coming over.
I haven't seen anything except for somebody linked it and I clicked it. I have a real bad habit, like, of just clicking links and being like, what's this? I want to know what this is because I'm nosy. And so then I was like, I looked at the opening intro animation video thing that's on the web page for it, and I was like, oh, I won't play that. And then I closed it. So that's the extent of my knowledge of it, but I know that other people would probably have a good time with it. I just don't enjoy the block building games.
Thought you did.
No. The kids play shit out of Minecraft, but so help me God, if you ask me anything about it, my head explodes.
No, I thought you were into those for some reason.
I like the realistic kind of crafted build shit type. But like when it gets all blocky and shit, I'm like, why are you doing this to me? I don't need this in my life. I don't like voxel art. I've bitched about that a million times. Like every time something's voxel art, I'm like, well, of course it is.
I like voxel art.
I know.
You a hater.
Yeah. Voxel art and anime chins. We just need to let them go.
Voxel chins.
Voxels have no chins. They're squares.
Voxels with drawn-on anime chins.
Oh God, please no.
Jacob, you're suspiciously quiet. Are you thinking about anime chins over there?
He's asleep.
A little bit. I was like, I wonder if this is going to become the title of the episode.
What, anime chins?
Well, voxel chins, but something to that effect. And I was still like trying to figure out what it might be, but I don't know. It's a good story.
Yeah. Also joining Xbox Game Pass and EA Play is Knockout City, that 3-on-3 dodgeball game coming out.
Yeah.
Have either of you played the beta for it?
Nope.
No.
No? Oh, that's a bummer. I played some of the beta. It was legitimately entertaining. I was having fun with it. I actually went and continued playing it instead of just playing 2 rounds to get a feel for it. Like I kept playing. I was having fun with it and I kept at it, and I returned to it the next day, and then I returned again and the beta was over and I was sad. I couldn't play it more.
Yeah, I'm a little scorned by Rocket Arena.
Yeah, everyone is, which is why I'm excited to see Knockout City is immediately in EA Play and Xbox Game Pass.
That's a good move, honestly. I think it's the best thing they could have done for it.
And I hope it does well, because the game is cool and it deserves a good shot.
Lightspeed has a good point. It's hardly been promoted. I haven't seen shit about it up until they announced it was ready for release, and I was like, what the fuck? I forgot that existed.
Yeah.
So.
But maybe we'll see more news.
I've already forgotten what game we're talking about.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Microsoft has announced that starting August 1st, their cut on Windows 10 store sales will drop from 30%, which is what it is currently, as the same as with Steam. They're dropping it all the way down to 12% to match Epic Games Store.
God damn.
Yeah, so they're really putting the pressure on Steam to drop their cut as well.
God damn. See, the hitch with that, though, is that Epic and Microsoft both have alternative revenue streams to make up for that cut.
Okay. I thought you were going somewhere with that.
I do. But I could see you laughing your ass off, and I'm assuming you were muted. And I was like, what did I say wrong?
Oh, nothing. I was laughing at the fact that Aki said Jacob is so worthless today in chat.
Like, I don't know why the today qualifier was there. But
yeah.
But
like, especially worthless today.
Slightly more.
Wake up, Jacob.
Have you been in my Vicodin?
I wish.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know that Steam can, afford that kind of that hefty of a revenue drop. I
know, we'll see.
Mainly because, like I said, that might be what makes Valve go out and make an actual Left 4 Dead 3 finally. They'll be like, fuck, we gotta.
I guess we're finally bringing Half-Life 3. Whatever. Throw a 3 on everything. Fuck it.
I'm for trilogies. Let's go.
Skip 2. Go right to Orange Box 3.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else? Sega, Activision, and Bandai Namco have all pledged support for this year's digital E3 event, so there's some more people getting involved.
Good.
Woo!
I missed E3 so bad last year.
I know.
It just kind of like June came and went without anything to look forward to. And it was so heartbreaking. Because E3 is a big deal for me. Like I spend all year going, oh, it's almost June. It's June soon. June. E3. I love that shit. And so I at least in a digital sphere, it gives you something to look forward to again. Something more cohesive. God,
your E3 is going to be so fucked this year. With us and Windows Central, oh my God, your E3 is going to be insane.
Oh no.
Yeah.
How illegal are amphetamines? Oh, man.
So anyway, your joy for E3 was...
gone. It has somehow now turned into a massive ball of stress weighing on my shoulders. There's an E on one shoulder and a 3 on the other. And I'm just like, I'm gonna cry.
You know what letters are on the curb? Oh my God. Anyway, let's see. People Can Fly have taken over Phosphor Games in Chicago and have rebranded them as People Can Fly Chicago. Phosphor Games were known for the Brookhaven Experiment and Heroes Reborn Gemini. They also acquired the Canadian studio Game On, which is a for-hire studio known for mocap work, animation work, audio work, etc. Stuff like that. Huh. So People Can Fly are expanding.
Yeah, they put that Outriders money to good use.
Yeah. Everyone talking about mix pots in chat. Oh, the E3 mix pots were fun on Mixer.
I still have my stuff in Sea of Thieves. I know because me and Lightspeed played Sea of Thieves the other night, and I was like, oh yeah, I got this from Mixer.
Nothing has ever worked in Sea of Thieves for me. Like, literally nothing. I have gotten, like, limited preview items, like collector items. Nothing has ever shown up in the game for me, and I don't know why. And it's just that game.
Lightspeed didn't find my unicorn figurehead to be amusing. I did, though. I did.
Now I want to play with you so I could see that.
I have a unicorn figurehead and sails, and I don't even remember where I got. They may have been from a Mixbot. They may have been from Amazon Prime. I don't know. But I've got Ori sails and all kinds of stuff. I have so much shit for somebody who's only put like 20 hours in the game.
Yeah. All the giveaways.
I love Sea of Thieves. I even have a Sea of Thieves shirt and posters, and
like
I won them in a giveaway.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I won them in a giveaway. And
what? You won a giveaway? What?
Can you imagine? That's amazing. But I don't get to play it that much because I get annoyed when I start getting griefed. Like, I'm immediately, as soon as there's another boat, I'm like, God damn it, why doesn't this have PvE? Just let me fish in peace.
Yeah, that's what keeps me away from Sea of Thieves as well. I would rather just PvE it and not worry about dickheads. I
will say, at 3 a.m. the other night, me and Lightspeed were okay. We didn't see a soul. So we had a good time. He probably had less of a good time because Lightspeed is the person who enjoys griefing others. Whereas I'm just like
that dickhead.
Yeah, he is.
Chris was that dickhead, like Chris Huber.
But I am very much the person who's like, just leave me alone. I'm fishing.
Chris is the guy who would just single player, get the small boat, and just find someone and fuck with them.
Yeah.
That was Chris. We need to get him back on here. I miss him.
Indeed.
Let's see. Some game announcements. Some news there. Death Smiles 1 and 2 will be launching on Xbox, PS4, and Switch December 16th in Japan. It includes Death Smiles Mega Black Label, and Death Smiles 2. No word on an American release, but hopefully we get one, because I will otherwise have to import the shit out of that.
I have no idea what that game is.
UPs, shooters.
Ooh, you?
Yeah.
Shmup.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. I was like, wait.
Yeah, not like first person shooter. No.
You had me confused for a second. The Vicodin is there. You got to be really specific.
Yeah, shmup.
Okay.
I think I still have my Xbox 360 game, and I think it's still sealed.
Ooh, the one with the faceplate.
It was like a limited edition thing. It was like a long ass box.
Yeah, I think that's the one with the faceplate for the Xbox 360. Remember when they had removable, swappable faceplates?
Yeah, I still have all mine.
I used to have, I think, 5 of them for Eternal Sonata, like a full set of them.
I loved that game so hard.
I don't know if I still have them or not.
Huh.
They might be in a box somewhere.
I remember you gave me a Tropicana one, and there was like one other random faceplate that you gave me. But yeah, I think I still have Death Smiles like still wrapped in the thing.
You'll have to check on that.
I wonder how much that's worth.
I don't know. Look it up.
Well, that's what I'm fucking doing.
Do something with yourself.
I'll do something with myself.
And some more announcements. Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection will be hitting Xbox, PlayStation, and PC on June 1st, while Capcom Arcade Stadium will be hitting Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam on May 25th.
Okay.
I'm thrilled for both of those. Like, Capcom Arcade Stadium is right up my alley.
Yeah.
I love those retro compilations. And there's a lot of good shmups on there, too.
I loved Ghosts and Goblins, and I remember beating it as a kid, but I don't think I could do it now.
I don't believe you that you beat it as a kid. I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Nobody beat Ghosts and Goblins.
I had a lot of fucking time on my hands as a kid to do shit. Remember, I didn't ever leave the house. I lived in the middle of nowhere. not quite as much in nowhere as here, but I lived in the middle of nowhere and I had no friends, so I didn't go anywhere and do anything except play video games.
You still have no friends.
Well, I would argue I have more than you, so I'm doing better in that regard.
But 0 that would still be 0.
Yeah, but at least I'm not in the negatives. I'm not the one being asleep at 8:30 on a Thursday, thank you. I've at least got digital friends I can go play a game with.
Bold of you to assume that I want to play online with people.
That's what somebody says when nobody online wants to play with them.
True. And I don't want to play with you. So.
That's good. I don't want to fucking listen to you either.
No one does. I've gotten used to that.
Take my ball, go home.
Well, if you want to play by yourself, Capcom Arcade Stadium is going to have invincibility available to buy. Did you hear about this?
I'd do it.
Does it affect achievements? That's what
I want to know, because first off, I can't be too mad because it's literally $1.
I saw the price point for it. I'm like, that's not bad. All right.
I've spent more quarters on these games.
Well, don't you have unlimited quarters anyway?
I don't know. Possibly, depending on the game, depending on the mode. I'm not sure. I haven't played Arcade Stadium yet.
Okay.
It's on the Switch, but I haven't picked it up on the Switch because it's expensive, and they already confirmed it would be coming to other platforms, so I decided to wait on it. So I'll find out in a month, May 25th, when it comes out. I'll find out.
That's fair.
I would like to argue that invincibility could technically be an accessibility thing, and then shouldn't be charged extra for. But I would hold that out until I saw if there were like other accessibility features or something that was in place to make it more viable.
I don't think invincibility is full-on invincibility is accessibility.
Not necessarily. I think of like Celeste, and Celeste had an invincibility toggle, right? And it is an accessibility thing. Like, there are people who just sometimes can't beat a game. Right?
Invincibility toggle? Oh, I mean, I'm just like,
you're just like, all right.
I need an invincibility taco. That'd be pretty great. Does it make like a one-up noise as you eat it?
What's the next topic?
Nintendo, out of nowhere, updated Super Mario Party with an online mode.
This was exciting.
I know. I want to get the game again.
Yeah, like, I realized after like the announcement, and I was like, the kids don't even have Mario Party. And one of the reasons we didn't get it is because we have multiple consoles and you couldn't play online. We have 2 Switches. So they couldn't play online, and I was like, meh, you know? And so now they're just like, oh, by the way, bitches. But Nintendo games never go on sale.
No, they don't ever.
I don't want to pay full price.
The thing is, like, I'm pretty sure Super Mario Party had local multiplayer, so you didn't need online for your kids to play together.
Yeah, but that's how they prefer to do it anyway.
But
that's fine.
It had local.
Yeah, but it's stupid to play local. Nobody wants to sit in like the same rooms and stuff and share the screen or any of that. That's gross. Joe, do you know how much you're asking to have my kids share a screen? They haven't had to do that. They would have their
own screen. Never mind. Whatever. As an online mode, though, it's cool. I think it's cool that they added online to a game that's, been out for a while now. It's not a new release.
Yeah. All of their games should have it, honestly, but also their online's trash, so
It was announced that Among Us will be hitting PS4 and PS5 later on this year, and that Sony will be getting an exclusive Ratchet & Clank skin, hat, and pet.
Okay.
And it looks adorable. So Among Us will be coming to everything eventually. Now it's just the waiting game.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Final bit of news I have.
Be on Xbox this summer, but
yeah, hopefully soon. I've been looking forward to that.
They're hyping it so hard that it's just like it's going to be at E3 and they're going to go, surprise today! And everybody's going to go, yeah, I saw that coming.
But yeah, last bit of news I have, probably the biggest news of the month so far. Stadia got a search feature.
Oh my god.
Who the fuck has left this Stadia programming this shit? Like, who's the one dude at home going, yeah, I totally still work for Stadia. Like, I'm just over here programming a search for all damn games.
Now we'll definitely get everybody coming back.
Yeah. The one thing I shit on harder than the Switch is Stadia.
No, you shit on PlayStation harder than the Switch.
I shit on PlayStation harder than the Switch and Stadia.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
I just shit on everything except Xbox because it makes everybody else mad.
Honestly, like when I saw the headlines of like how everyone's like, oh, they now have a search bar, I honestly thought it was a hard drive article at first before I looked at the URL, because I was just like, how the fuck has this thing been out for as long as it has and there was no search bar? Like, I don't get that.
Apparently the only thing anybody would have wanted to search for on there was Terraria.
Like, I don't get it. Like, how did you navigate before when looking for games? Like, was there just like this page that like you just boom, there's all scroll. Yeah, was it just infinite scrolling? Like, what the hell?
I don't know.
Like, did nobody at Google?
You know the terrible part?
Like,
that's the thing. This is Google. Like, searching should be their forte. And it took all this time. I'm gonna go and find that. There's that one dude on Twitter who is like, I'm the Stadia guy, right? And like, I see him all the time, and I'm like, I don't know why you are, but okay. And I'm just gonna like find him and be like, so how come they didn't have a search though? Because you can't really justify that. That's some basic functionality shit that they teach you in like programming 101.
Yeah. Well, they have it now.
PG on them, I guess. It's
Hooray.
Stadia and their search and Nintendo and their shit online and PlayStation and their everything.
Their availability. And I want to say, Root Beer said Nintendo games do go on sale all the time. That's a myth. Yes, we know they go on sale. We are a comedy show. We make jokes on this show. And
I like to rib you guys, and then people think I'm serious.
And the well-known joke is that Nintendo doesn't have good sales because their sales are awful. $49.99 is not a sale.
No, it's not. My kids are weird though, because like they'll wait forever for something to be $10 on Xbox, but then like they see Mario Kart 8 and they're like, yeah, I'll pay
$44.99, yeah,
bucks for that. And I'm like, you make no sense. That was even worse. Was with Taiko recently. It was on sale for like $17 forever, and they were like, no, we got the other Taiko. We need to beat it first. And I'm like, okay. And then like the week after, she gets her stipend from Upward Bound. She goes, I bought the Taiko adventure game. I was like, why didn't you buy it last week? When it was $17, now you paid $35 for it. Guess what happened? The week after, $17 again. What the fuck? Whatever.
That's a life lesson.
Ugh. And she was just like, but it's great. It's worth it. I'm like, we're too poor for shit to be worth it, kid. Stop that.
Oh, man. But yeah, that's the news I have. Jacob, what do you have? I know you always have stuff to talk about.
So they announced all of the Star Wars Day, which is May 4th, as in May the 4th be with you. They announced all the Star Wars sales for that day or week or whatever. Doesn't really matter. Most of it is the same usual shit that you'd get any other fucking sale that they ever have on it. However, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is getting a free upgrade for current gen consoles. So those with the PS5 and an Xbox Series X, hooray. It looks even prettier on your consoles. There's that. IGN had a report 3 days ago about Little Big Planet and how the servers have been off for quite some time, and the developers are just like,
pancakes!
We're working on it. So pretty much like the 3 games are pretty much unplayable because you can't download other people's levels or upload your own levels, and so there's no community to it, and nobody seems to know why. So hopefully with this attention that's now on it, because this has apparently been going down since early March. So hopefully now that, there's eyes on it everywhere, hopefully something will be done.
People step in and do something about it.
Right. The golden Wii that THQ had made for Queen Elizabeth II is now on sale. You can buy it, or I believe it's on an auction, actually. It's on an auction on eBay. The original bid was $300,000, and that's still what it's at.
Okay.
So
I kind of figured that was a buy it now. I didn't think it was an actual auction.
Oh yeah, you are correct. Yeah, it is a buy it now.
Okay.
However, you can make an offer. So if you want to try to see if you can get it for $299,000, and
start a GoFundMe. Let's.
On the plus side, free economy shipping from outside the U.S.
Nice.
So
it's nice when they go that extra mile. That's why on Mercari, all of my stuff is free shipping, because if you're buying the expensive shit that I have, I might as well ship it for free.
A video game has actually won an Oscar for once. So with the VR game Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, made by Respawn back in 2020, there was a series of short documentaries that they included with the game. One of them actually got nominated. It's called Colette. It got nominated for the Best Documentary Short Subject category. So it got nominated and it won. So
wow,
that's video game cinema history right there. Yay, we're respected, although probably because nobody else has thought it was part of a video game. So there's that. Humble Bundle is moving to limit charitable donations to 15% starting this May.
I saw this. This is some bullshit by Humble.
Yeah, I was really surprised by that. I mean, usually I through the developers something, but the fact that they're capping the charitable donation at 15% seems to be pretty much against everything Humble was founded for.
Yeah,
that's an odd choice.
I can understand them wanting to get rid of the sliders and have presets, but to have charity be the bottom rung every time is bullshit. Charity should be the top, 75% should be charity, and then argue over the other 25.
Yeah, I'm really displeased by it, because that's always why I bought through Humble. So I could make you get your games, you're making a nice sizable charitable donation with it, and everyone gets to be happy. Because it's the devs were just oh yeah, we understand why we're putting it up in this bundle. They're going to make some money, but not all of the money that they're used to making. I don't know.
I'll be honest. I never gave Humble a penny ever. Fuck them.
I bought a bunch of them. I got. I did.
No, I mean in the sliders. I never gave them anything. I always gave it to the developers and to charity. I split it between them. I figured Humble, they're doing their service. They're probably working out deals to get the games or whatever advertising they have going on now, because IGN owns them. They don't need my money.
Yeah, funny you should mention the Kotaku thing, not Kotaku thing, the IGN thing, because in the Kotaku article that I had originally read this in, a lot of people were commenting that things at Humble seem to have gone differently once IGN came in and became their bosses. So I don't know if that was an order from up top.
Probably.
But there is you can now play the canceled Dreamcast Castlevania prototype it was called Castlevania Resurrection, which is now being hosted by Sega Dreamcast Info and now also available on archive.org. Pretty much, it was a game intended to follow Sonia Belmont and a new character named Victor Belmont as they traveled back in time, surprise, to fight Dracula.
Oh, in a Castlevania game? What?
Yeah. There was a reveal at E3 1999, and then it just got shit canned in March 2000. So
now you can play a demo.
Yeah, it's apparently glitchy as hell, and also not great, but...
So good thing we're talking about it.
Woo! Yeah, and pretty much everything else you can just read up on our Facebook page. That's all I got for you.
Cole, anything on your end?
Whoop! I hit the wrong button. No.
Hey, stop muting yourself.
Well, my chair squeaks and I was moving because my leg went numb.
Well, it's your turn to talk now because it is review time. Are you excited?
No.
Why?
I don't know. I get nervous. I want to make the devs happy, but also be honest. And
uh-oh.
No. I don't think I have anything that I'm gonna rip on this week. Just general. I don't know. Makes me anxious.
Jacob's like, I'm gonna tear my game apart.
I do often.
This wholesome kids game is gonna get ripped to shreds.
I swear to God,
innocent, wholesome.
I was so disappointed with the lack of guns in Little Mouse Encyclopedia. Like, you'd figure this game which has an M rating, it would have so much more than just cataloging wildlife, but no.
More
not
violence.
Enough nudity.
Not enough nudity in Little Mouse's Encyclopedia. Yeah, we'll leave that part here instead of in the actual review.
I want to watch those tortoises get it on.
Yeah, hopefully the actual review for that will be a little more family friendly in case the developers listen. But we have something to talk about before Little Mouse's Encyclopedia. We got a big one in. Cole, are you excited about this one?
Yeah.
I'm excited about this one. First game to talk about tonight is called NieR Replicant version 1.22474487139. ... Code provided for this review by Square Enix, developed by Toylogic, published by Square Enix, released April 23rd on Xbox One, PS4, and PC for $59.99. A kind young man sets out with Grimoire Vice, a strange talking book, to search for the sealed verses in order to save his sister Yona, who fell terminally ill to the Black Scrawl. Cole, tell us about your time with NieR Replicant. And we should point out we will be talking about this next week as well, because this is a big game and it requires a lot of discussion. So tell us about your time.
I would like to point out that at my current state with this game, I have around 25 to 30 hours in it. Ugh. And I'm still not out of Act 1. And I would like to point out that is because I have a hideous case of shiny object syndrome.
And this game is shiny objects everywhere.
This is shiny objects and also boobs and also butts, the game. I'll get to that last part in a second. But yeah, you play as a character, male character, who you can name whatever you choose. Of course, I named mine Cole, and it didn't give me a choice to be a male or female. And I was like, okay, well, I guess good thing I have a unisex name. I think my story would have went a little differently if it was like a male character named Nikita or some shit. But it happens. Ashley. That's a male or female name. It's fine. But you play as a male character, a brother overlooking, taking care of his sister sister. And his sister is, of course, as JRPGs do, she's small, she's frail, she's weak, she's sick, and it's up to you to take care of her. And that sends you on numerous amounts of fetch quests to get her medicine. And as you are trying to care for her, of course, you're orphaned, because that's what JRPGs do. The JRPGs are like Disney stories, but Japanese. The parents are always dead. And it's always some teenager to younger teenager on their own and just trying to survive, right? Which is pretty much NieR is what you would expect for this kind of game. And then I just immediately found myself running around in circles constantly trying to pick up all the shinies and getting yelled at that my inventory was full because I'd picked up too many shinies. On my shiny adventuring, fucking hate inventories that are limited. Why can I only have 10 herbs? There was one area where they literally dropped like 40 of them in front of me, and they're like could only pick up 10.
Because they're the healing items, and they don't want you to overstock yourself with healing items and unbalance the game.
If I break a box,
they give you other ways to unbalance this game.
I deserve it. Let's actually talk about that for a second. They totally give you other ways to unbalance this game.
They give you, like, you can totally break this game in your favor with some of the assists.
I did, because you, in my defense, I've been in a flare, and even with the assists on, my hands are killing me. But you can set the game to a couple of different difficulties. If you set it down to easy difficulty, you can then turn on auto combat, which just allows the game to kind of fight everything for you, and you're kind of just responsible for moving the camera around. You can control how much the game takes over for you for the combat, and you can also toggle, Jacob, not taco, toggle it on and off with the thumbstick. So if you're in an area where you're like, if I fight that thing, it's going to fuck my face off, you can turn off the auto combat and sneak past. Thank goodness I had to do that a few times. I was getting fucked up.
That giant dude outside the town.
Just right there. Just standing there like, yo, it's a cliff and I'm a big giant shadow and I'm gonna smack you in the head and you're immediately gonna die. But you can turn on whether or not it automatically uses your herbs and whether it uses your other items, whether or not the grimoire that is with you, his name is, it's pronounced Vice, but it's spelled Weiss. So you can determine whether or not Vice will attack without you having any say so over it or anything like that. Really thought that the accessibility options were well done. I was surprised by how much it let you just take the game over and experience it. And I thought, oh, this may make it more viable for me to beat this game in a week so I could talk about it all at once. And then I spent an hour looking for tulip bulbs. So it did not.
I was going to say, if you rush through, you could probably beat the game in about 20, 30 hours. But the fact that you're like 100%ing and side questing and, oh my God, I can only imagine how much time. How much fishing are you?
The very first fishing mission is to get 10 sardines. And it took me forever because I kept getting rusty buckets. It was like, I bet I spent an hour and a half. It was the entire time that David was fixing dinner and we were eating, and I'm just sitting there going, if it gives me another bucket, I'm throwing my controller out. And then it would be like, okay, we didn't give you a bucket this time, it was a can. And I was like, I just need a sardine. I gave up and bought them. I will tell you why I'm in big trouble, though. How come nobody told me NieR had farming in it?
Oh, God.
You can farm. And I'm just like, look at my little baby crops. And now nothing else is getting done. We are going to be 6 weeks trying to review this game because every time I come back here to talk about it, I'm going to be like, well, let me tell you what I planted, though.
Oh, my God. That's where you're lost. Oh, we lost you on farming.
You should have known. You should have known. I did mention that there's butts. There is a lot of fan service happening with some of the female characters in this game. Particularly, Lord, the drugs have hit hard tonight.
Okay, we're still early.
The alcohol and the accent, or the alcohol. I haven't had alcohol. I wish I had alcohol. I'm not even allowed to have alcohol. The accent and the drugs are just they're melding into a mess, and I'm done. But yeah, there's a female character. Listen, JRPGs are known for their fan service shit, and I knew that when I took this. Okay, it is just something I expected, and I knew I was gonna have to be on here and be like, y'all know that's not my favorite shit. Yeah, no, it frustrates me. But I wasn't ready for it to be. Look, you weren't ready for Kaine. I was not ready for Kaine. I had played Automata, and I knew about the whole look up 2B skirt thing. You know, I knew, and I knew I was getting into. There was going to be shit in Replicant. I wasn't ready for the fact that Kaine is 17 and in full-on fucking lingerie with close-ups of her ass and tits.
Kanye's in lingerie?
Yeah.
Kaine, not Kanye.
Kaine.
Jacob, are you even paying attention to the review, or did you just hear Kanye in lingerie?
I was really... No, because I was confused by the character. I don't know anything about this series, and all of a sudden I was just making sure I heard what I thought, because I was just like, what? Kanye West in lingerie. I would say
that her lingerie, I don't know if it even qualifies as lingerie, because if you buy a teddy at like Adam and Eve, that shit's going to cover your ass at least a little. And this chick's panties are full on bare with just some corset lacing across her ass crack.
Can we interrupt this? Can we interrupt this review for a moment? So, Cole, what are you ordering from Adam and Eve?
Nothing, because that's lame shit. You can get better elsewhere. God, we are never getting an Adam and Eve sponsorship. Sorry.
Hey, there you go, Joe. We can have Adam and Eve sponsor this thing, and now, of course, Cole would have to talk nice about it.
So, tell us about NieR Replicant.
So hard for me to talk nice about things, man. So yeah, anyway, the fan service as far as Kaine goes is a little over the top, especially given that she's supposed to be a young teenager. It bothers me. Of course it does. Y'all knew it would. You can change her costume. I'm trying not to spoil anything. You can change her costume in later gameplay, but when she's like first introduced and shit, you're there for the tits and ass, whether you want to be or not. I will say my greatest complaint, even though I've been like, oh, it's shiny object and everything is like, there's always something to do. My big beef with the game at this point is that they've created this just massive world, right? And it's surprisingly very empty. I assume this has to do with the hardware limitations at the time it was originally made, because this is a remaster or whatever.
Yeah, this was originally PS3 and 360 somewhat.
So
I think there were like two versions of the game, one with the brother, one with the father. The 360 in America was the father. I don't know what the PS3 was. I don't remember. It was confusing how they did stuff, but this is the brother.
Yeah, it's all very confusing. I have no idea the fuck.
NieR as a whole is very confusing.
It is nice though, because like I said, I played Automata and I was so confused by so much, right? Because I'd never played Replicant, and there are little callbacks that every now and then there will be something, and I'll go, oh, that thing in Automata now makes so much more sense, you know. And it would just be little things, but it would stand out and I'd be like, I've seen that in Automata, now I get it. So that was nice, at least for somebody who hadn't played like that before. But the world being so large and not having as much of a population as you would expect, this is one of those things that I get kind of frustrated with, because they could have made it a tenth of the size and done all the same things. You know, you spend a lot of senseless time just running through fields. Yeah, it gives the opportunity for enemies to crop up and stuff, but even still, you go large swaths of land without anything happening. It's not as severe once you unlock mounts and can just ride shit across the fields, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you're just in the beginning, or if you don't want to take them out because you want to pick a few fights or whatever, you can just find yourself running forever just for no good reason. And I just think if it had been scaled a little differently, maybe again, though, it's so weird to complain about something like that because this is where it's a remaster. In the 360 and PS3 area, like, these big ass worlds were so cool because we hadn't seen them before. So it doesn't feel fair to judge it on that using today's standards, because no. I'd be like, well, fuck, I want that shit populated now. But you look at it and you go, I can see in the color palettes, you know, everything's very blue and gray with a little bit of orange. Everything, you know, and it's like the color palettes, even the green of the grass is very muted. I would say turn off auto HDR though, because holy shit, everything was blown out with the HDR on.
I've completely disabled HDR on my system at this point because I've had so many horrible results with HDR and auto HDR that I've just given up on it.
Yeah, most of the time I'm okay with it, but this time I was like, fuck, that looks bad. So I did have to turn off HDR for it. But yeah, I think the biggest thing about the game that really hangs with me is that it shows its age a little worse than I would like for it to. You can... normally I'd be like, oh, the character models and shit look bad. They look old, right? And I don't feel that way with Replicant. I feel like everything's been remastered enough that it's fine. But where it really shows its age is when you're in the cities and they're so sparsely populated, and you're in the fields. And I will say I was impressed at how many enemies could crop up. But even still, it was just like, it doesn't feel like the area is lived. There's one whole town you go to where everybody's just still in their houses. You just hear people hollering from inside their houses. And it's like, it's so empty.
Like, well, that one's supposed to be.
I know it, but it just made everything else noticeable too. Because you were just like, ugh.
When you were saying that, like, there's like tons of enemies and stuff like that, does it feel overwhelming? Or is it like, okay.
No, but also remember I have on auto combat, so I'm just like, I don't care.
Fair.
I could see
You're just sitting there
more
eating,
of a problem.
You're just sitting there eating a sandwich like,
I mean, I do have it to where, like, I do have to fight. I can't just sit there. It will auto evade for me because I do struggle with evasion. But like for parrying and or blocking or whatever it calls it in this one, I tend to prefer to do that myself. In actual, as far as controlling my character to attack, I like to do that. But I do have the Grimoire is fully automatic. He's just doing shit for me, and I don't give a fuck. I'm like, you do you. I ain't hitting them bumpers because that's my hands hurt. But I mean, it's not like you can completely play it and not play it. You still have to put in a little something. I guess maybe if I turned on some of the other options. I don't remember which ones I specifically didn't turn on, but I know I didn't turn them all on. I'm not that big bitch.
Sure.
I got that 50 combo legitimately, thank you. I don't know if I'll ever get the 100, but I did get the 50.
All right, well, we will cover more of this game next week. We're not going to give a judgment yet because there's still so much more to talk about with the game. But your early impressions, are you thinking positively of the game, negatively? What's your mindset looking like so far?
I have enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. I was a little hesitant about it I just wanted to piss off Lucky. Success.
Wow.
And so I enjoyed it more than I was expecting to. Like I said, it was nice to have those little callbacks to things that I recognized in Automata, and I was like, oh, now they make more sense. I guess it's not a callback if this was the original and Automata was the sequel, but you know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I thought it was going to be a case of I'm just going to focus on the story and get through it. And then I found myself wanting to do the side quest, and that's a pretty positive turnaround for me.
All right, well, we'll talk about that more next week, and we'll move on for now. But next game to talk about is called Little Mouse's Encyclopedia, developed by Circus Atos, published by RedDeerGames, released April 23rd on Xbox One and Switch for $12.99. Relax and explore the incredible world of nature with a charming little mouse. Beautiful hand-painted graphics and an interesting collection of facts will awaken the naturalist soul in everyone. Jacob, tell us about your time with Little Mouse's Encyclopedia.
So pretty much you play as this little mouse who there's 4 different environments that you can look at. One's a pond, a garden, like a woodland area, and I'm blanking on the third one. Fourth one. But there's 4 different environments, and all of them have various different flowers, plants, trees. I don't think the garden one has a tree, but you know what I mean? And various like insects and animals that you're going to find in these different areas. Now, understand that this is a European game, so some of these animals just aren't here in the U.S. or like some of the plant species and stuff like that. Well, I mean, my wife loves squirrels, and so I was just like, oh, just like there's a squirrel in here, and then I showed it to her, and she's like, yeah, okay, so this is from the UK. Because their squirrels have these like little fluffy extra things on their ears that ours just don't. And so like that was a dead giveaway for her. Also, there's a couple of names that are used for the animals and plants that, we don't here in America, we don't use.
Here in America.
Yeah. So I was a little surprised that like they didn't, that like there wasn't any like localization done with that. Not that there really needs to be, because I mean, you're really just there to learn about the different, flora and fauna and that kind of stuff. And so pretty much Little Mouse just walks around each environment. You can climb up trees, you can walk underground, you can walk above ground. There's a couple of obstacles that you have to figure out how to get past, but it's nothing insane. Like the game is there to be peaceful. It's, you're just there taking a stroll. That's it. And you're going to learn about stuff. And with every single plant and animal, you can click on something. There's like an animation that goes along with it, as well as a fact file that, tells you, this is how big they get. This is what they do. This is what they eat. This is what they're like. And it's nothing insane. There isn't like an insane amount of information on it. But it's enough to make it digestible for kids, and, they learn more about the world outside. That being said, I really enjoyed the game. It's, as I said, it's a peaceful stroll.
It's not really, I wouldn't even call it a game. It's more like edutainment.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, then it's like, I mean, if we're going to like argue about like whether it's a game or not, I mean, like it follows like that, that Steam game, The Graveyard, where it's just like you have to walk from point A to point B. Technically, it's a game. I would still call it a game, an educational game, even if you want to go that route. But yeah, it's a nice stroll. You learn a lot. My only issues with it, I mean, the localization thing really isn't an issue. I was just a little surprised by it. The controls, like getting up and down, there's definitely some clipping that hasn't been fixed. And also the directions aren't clear because, how did they put it? It's like you have to click on a tab. Like, when you very first start, there's instructions on Little Mouse's kitchen table, and like it explains like this is what you hit to do this is what you hit to do this, and it's like, oh well, you just click on the tabs to look for everything or to look at everything, and it doesn't make it quite clear at first because I mean you're looking at like the little fact file things, but then some of the trees have actual like tabs on them, so you could find out more about like the species of tree and stuff like that. And so I was going nuts, like trying to figure out what the heck the game was talking about with these tabs. And it took me a bit longer than I'd care to admit to realize, oh, it's just talking about the fact files that pop up, whenever. That being said, I mean, the game really isn't there to stress you out. You shouldn't get stressed out by it. For the achievement hunters out there, it's a pretty easy 1,000. Like it's done in under an hour if you really want to speed through. Which honestly, I don't recommend. It's a nice stroll.
Yeah, for the primary audience of children, what do you think?
Yeah.
This is the primary audience is not achievement. I don't know. Maybe the primary audience is achievement hunters at this point. You never know.
Yeah. So my oldest enjoyed it. I mean, I had to sit there and read the fact files with them, but he enjoyed like going through and trying to find everything. And it was nice, light, calm entertainment for him as opposed to Lego Star Wars, which we've been playing through as well. And so like it's a nice alternative from most of the other children's games that are out there. That being said, as I said, like for the younger ones, you're going to have to read it to them, so that's fine. It would be nice if there was like some sort of audio thing that you could have going for accessibility reasons. Like somebody just sitting there, like a pre-recorded thing of each fact file. That would have been nice. Or maybe like something also to expand the illustrations. But otherwise, I didn't really have any complaints about it. I really enjoyed it. I definitely recommend it for kids of all ages. Out there, especially like, I mean, as a parent, like I've had to play plenty of like terrible children's games. And this game was, I mean, you're out in the open air. Like it was a nice breath of fresh air compared to everything else that's out there. So,
well, $12.99, $12.99, your official verdict.
It's a definite buy. Like, I mean, it's not game of the year, but it's a solid, fun game for kids. And I highly recommend it.
All right. Well, that is it for you. We will let you get going so you can.
Whoa.
We can't talk about Mortal Kombat. Tim wanted to do it. We didn't watch it yet. Cole didn't watch it yet. I didn't watch it yet.
Shut up.
So,
hold on.
Get out of here.
Hold on. So, wait, Tim gets to review it?
Tim didn't review it. He wanted to talk about it, and we were like, no, because we didn't see it yet.
Okay. All right. So, like, next week we'll all talk about it?
Maybe. Probably.
Okay.
We'll give you next week. That gives us a week to watch it.
All right.
Sound fair, Cole?
That's fine. She's yeah, whatever.
You want to maybe come back on the show with him again, though?
Yes, because I have another game to review for next week.
Fuck! Stop giving him shit!
Would you rather Aki here?
No.
Would you rather Purnell here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, everyone wants Purnell here.
Yeah, I'd rather have Purnell here.
Let's be fair. Purnell's good.
I'd rather have Purnell here instead of me. Yeah, solid choice.
All right, so yeah, we'll let you get going.
Okay, I do have a final thing to talk about because I forgot to bring it up during the news.
Okay.
Oh, shut up. Midnight Club LA Complete has been relisted for Xbox 360 up on the Xbox website.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a mistake.
It's still up as, like, I checked it this morning. I don't
it's been a few days, so maybe they got their licenses back for it. That'd be great if they did.
I mean, after, like, the whole kerfuffle of Midnight Club 2 being available on Steam for a few hours, I'm wondering if they were just like, oh, there's actual interest in this shit. Like, so buy it while you still can, folks.
Cool. All right, have a good one.
Yep, you too. Except you, Cole. You can just shut up.
As soon as you hit the hang up button, I'm immediately improved.
How do you think I am? It's like walking on sunshine once I don't have to hear your voice.
Walking on sunshine. Whoa, he doesn't feel great. Next game to talk about is called Cozy Grove, developed and published by Spry Fox LLC, released April 8th on Xbox One, Switch, PS4, and PC for $14.99. Welcome to Cozy Grove, a game about camping on a haunted, ever-changing island. As a spirit scout, you'll wander the island's forest each day, finding new hidden secrets and helping soothe the local ghosts. With a little time and a lot of crafting, you'll bring color and joy back to Cozy Grove. Cole, tell us about your time with Cozy Grove.
Holy fuck, I love this game. That's my review. That's all you need to know. It's adorable. It's a little bit morbid.
Forgot to mention, published on console by Quantum Astrophysicists Guild. I forgot about that.
Yes. And I would like to point out that although we got a Steam copy for review, I have played it on both Steam and Xbox because I bought it with my own money on Xbox, and that should tell you something. Okay? I was playing it on Steam, and I was like, fuck, I need to play it on Xbox too. And so I did. That's how much I love this. So Cozy Grove, as you said in the summary, basically you create a little character, a little doe-eyed, short spirit scout who has washed ashore this island, and it is your scout's job to lure out the ghosts with the help of their flame. And basically, when you help a ghost, the ghost will give you a spirit log. Then you can feed the spirit logs to your flame to help progress the story. That's the long and short of it. That's your primary goal. When you find a ghost, a spirit, then you have the option to do a task for them. I will say that spirit, it's basically fetch quests for the spirits, right? Like all the missions are go and find some bottles of ketchup so that the baker bear can make some red velvet cake because, hey, in the afterworld, who gives a fuck what actual ingredients you use, right? Or it may be that there's a seagull who thinks it's the bear, and the seagull will have you make him a 3-course meal. So you need to go and catch some fish so that you can take the fish to them and they'll give you the spirit log. Now, the hitch with the game is that you can spend as much time playing it as you want. You can explore around. You can dig things up. You'll have a little shovel. There's little special mounds that you can dig. You can dig through leaves and find things in there. There are little imps who have things that they'll request, and if you keep the imps happy, they'll give you imp essence, which you can use for crafting later on. The hitch, however, though, is that there are only a set amount of tasks you're allowed to do on a campaign day. And campaign day, excuse me, I have the hiccups right now. Mm-hmm. Campaign days are tied to real time. So they end and begin at 5 a.m. I believe it's 5 a.m. Eastern time. I'm not sure. But basically, if it's past that time, then they'll just, when you load the game back up, you'll see your character take a quick nap, and then they stand back up, and you can continue on, and you're on a new campaign day.
So it's like the day cycle in Animal Crossing.
Yeah. Well, I didn't play Animal Crossing. The kids did. I did not. But I know I really should. It's up my alley. What am I doing, right?
Seriously.
So yeah, it's you have the day cycles. You can only do a set amount. Once you've done all the quests for that day, you can go and keep doing whatever you want, or you can shut the game down and come back. I will say that the devs have said, if you set the time ahead and you fuck up your game, that's on you. They won't do anything to help you fix it. The whole point is that you're supposed to learn patience. I don't learn patience. That's why I'm playing it on 2 systems simultaneously. So that if I run out of quests, I can just go play it on the other system.
Oh, God.
Yay, more to do. Look at me, I gotta go find the ketchup bottles again. I wonder where they are. And yet I just fucking love doing it. It's so peaceful and relaxing. And I'm just like, but it's got that quirky, cute, morbid element to it. One of the fish you catch is legit called a collapsed lungfish. Like, I don't know who put that in, but fuck yeah, that's great. That's wonderful. There's a quote from the Baker Bear who is like, oh, when I was alive, if I made a souffle and it fell, I had to start all over, right? And then she says, but in the afterlife, if you make a souffle and it falls, it just swears a little bit and then you stand back up and try again. I just love everything about the humor and how it's just so subtle. Like, it's completely kid-friendly. Number 3 has been playing the game. That doesn't say much. I let number 3 play a lot. But
well, it is rated E10, so it is geared toward...
She's 8, so I'm fudging it a little. But she has played it as well, and she just enjoys it. Most of the more adultish type jokes, they go over her head anyway. With little kids, like, she didn't get the whole thing about the souffle swearing, but I giggled at it because it was great. She doesn't know what the fuck a collapsed lung is. So the fish's name kind of goes over her head, and she's just like, well, I took it to the seagull and put it in my collection, and she's happy. I will say, as always, I like for things to be a little more displayed on how to do it. One of my beefs, which on the Steam, it's a non-issue. You move your mouse and you click and it's fine. But on Xbox, there's it tells you how to open like your backpack and stuff if you're using the controller, but it doesn't tell you what the little flame down at the bottom means. And I didn't realize that that's the in-game achievements. So if you are playing on Xbox, it just pops the achievements, right? If you're playing on Steam, though, it pops the achievements, but also on both Xbox and Steam, you get in-game coins for doing the achievements. So it rewards you in-game as well. I didn't know that, and by the time I found how to open that little square without using the mouse, I just used the mouse on PC, but on the Xbox, by the time I figured out how to open that little square up, I had like 50,000 coins because I'd done all this shit and didn't know I could go claim the coins for it.
Proud of you.
I was just doing it because I was enjoying it. So yeah, like I said, that's a small thing. It's far more intuitive on PC in that regard. And it was completely a non-issue on PC. But on Xbox, I was like, I don't know how to make that little exclamation point go away.
Well, as it stands, $15 on Cozy Grove. What are you thinking?
I fucking bought it after I got it for free, and I would do it again.
Cool, then gift it to me.
Do it too. You know what? Whenever my fucking debit card unfreezes, I just might. It's wonderful, and I do hope people buy it because it is great. Cool. I love it, and I can't wait to play more.
All right, next up is called AntVentor, developed and published by LoopyMood, released April 23rd on Xbox One for $6.99. AntVentor is a point-and-click adventure game. You find yourself in a photorealistic macro world where you immediately manage to ruin the life of the main character, Ant, and foil all his plans for making his dream come true. Can you help get everything back in order? Oh, what did you do to screw everything up for poor little Ant?
So, the little Ant is in his little ant home, and he's a little too smart for his own good, right? He finds normal ant work to be super monotonous, and he just doesn't want to fuck with it. So he has invented a machine from a soup can that does his work for him, so he doesn't have to fuck with it. And then he just spends all day daydreaming. Just fine. I would totally do it if I could too. The thing that you fuck up, though, is that, well, it's a point-and-click game. So when you don't know what to do when the ant is laying there in the chair, and you know you're supposed to point and click, what's the first thing you're going to click on? you're going to click on the machine.
Yeah, or the ant.
Okay, if you click on the machine, it breaks it.
Oh.
And so then he's very mad because this is the catalyst for the events of the game. It's a really creative way to introduce everything. I got tickled by it. It totally breaks the fourth wall. The ant's pointing at you. He's pissed. He knows you did it. And so now he has to leave his cozy little home to go and try to find the parts to repair his machine. Because his ultimate daydream is that he wants the queen to gift him with wings so that he can fly away, see the rest of the world outside of his little ant colony. Respectable dream. It is what it is. But now that he has to go on this quest, it's up to you to help him solve it with pointing and clicking and solving the puzzles. I will say initially there's a whole lot of fumbling around because some of the solutions, given that this is an ant in an anthill, some of the solutions are not going to be as logical as you might think. After you break the machine, you're stuck in the room, and your only choice is to try to find something to prop the machine up so that you can go down the hole that's under it. So you really find yourself in a pickle right out of the gate. And I'm not even gonna lie, I sat there was like, I don't even fucking know what to do. All I did was break the machine. How am I supposed to fix the machine I just broke? So it took me a little bit to kind of wrap my head around the way that the world was going to work. You stick a chair under it, for the record. And I sat there and looked at it. I was like, that's going to be dumb. That's not going to work. I found myself doing a whole lot of drag everything just to see what sticks until I got my bearings with it enough that I could figure out what puzzles we're actually looking for. That's just the nature of this being such a quirky world. And it's a little surreal and a little goofy and a little, fourth wall breaking. So it's meant to kind of be odd solutions like that. So I don't want to hold it against it in any way, but I definitely had some where I was just like, click everything and hope for the best.
No.
Especially because the game uses like little pictographs to try to display how you should get through certain situations, and they're not always as clear as they could be. I mean, if you're trying to describe how to do several steps in one image that's like on the wall in the dark, you're like, I'm gonna fuck up a few times until I get that right. Not mad about it, just definitely give yourself some room and time for error if you're gonna go at it the long way. I will say I really like the art style. I
was just gonna say I like the visuals of the game. It looks really cool.
It's this almost super realistic macro world, but then you have like the kind of comically designed ants just plastered into it. There's a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Whew, it's a tough night. I don't know. They're just different enough that they don't feel like they blend together, but also they still manage to work together despite their differences. It looks really cool. I'm really happy with the art and how everything looks. I was super drawn into that. But yeah, I wish it were a little more dumb friendly and didn't have you. I don't like when a puzzle game makes me fall into that click and drag and hope for the best pattern.
Yeah,
I think
you want things
really
to be a bit more intuitive.
Yeah, it just feels like it takes you out of the moment. And when you consider that point and clicks are kind of there, it's a very crowded genre, and so I just expect a little more polish for something to stand out. I will say though, they're looking to make this a trilogy, so it could get interesting, and there's room for them to do better later.
Well, as it stands, it's only $7. So what do you think?
That's not a bad price. Like, I'd pay $7 just to look at it. So I think I can forgive that it's not as intuitive as I'd like. just because it's affordable. Like, it scratches the point and click itch, and plus it's play anywhere.
Oh,
so I'm not
good.
mad at that either. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, next game to talk about is called Trails and Traces, The Tomb of Thomas 2, developed by Because Games, published by Ratalaika Games, released April 23rd on Xbox One, Series X, PS4, PS5, Switch, and Steam for $4.99. In 1695, two and his fellow pirates pursued a Mughal ship. His ship, the Amity, attacked the ship, and the Fateh Muhammad, my God, these words, two was disemboweled by a cannon shot and died instantly. Or did he? Present day, Detective James Labette takes a missing persons case, which unexpectedly leads to an adventure of discovering the truth of what happened to the pirate Thomas 2. But he isn't the only one who has an interest. Our friend Surlyna wrote in a review, this is what she's got to say. Greetings, SML friends and fam, it's your girl Surlyna, and this week I'm reviewing Trails and Traces, The Tomb of Thomas 2 for PlayStation 4, developed by Because Games and published by Ratalaika Games. The Tomb of Thomas 2 is a puzzle adventure game that has you as James Labette, private detective that's hired to find the man's missing son, but finds that nothing is ever so simple. Let's get on to the review. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the graphics. They're rough, real rough. I'm going to assume that the devs were going for old point-and-click adventure games of old feeling here. Perhaps I'm spoiled, but they were definitely some painful moments for me, like body proportions and animations being weird. If that's what they were going for, they succeeded greatly. When you play this one, please bear that in mind. The story of this game is fairly cut and dry for the first 20 minutes. You've got a case to solve, find your client's missing son. As you'll rapidly learn, the client is quite useless and you'll need to use your top-notch detective skills to get you closer to your goal. You'll also need to play around a bit with the controls as the game tells you nothing. Eventually, I figured out that you had to press and hold the X key in order to pull up a mini menu that would allow you to interact with objects and talk to people. Then, to access your inventory, you had to press the triangle key and drag things around. This was a minor annoyance, but nothing too crazy. What was a major annoyance for me is the actual story itself. It is, for lack of a better word, boring. Dear gods, the storyline is so boring. I chose this game because it gave me serious Monkey Island vibes, and I was expecting the chuckles and weird references to things. All of that was severely lacking, which really made me upset. One of the reasons these type of games in the 90s were super popular is because they were funny. There were a couple of chuckles to be had, but overall it was very bland. The extremely weak storyline is a major failing of the game. Even with all this being said, and while I was bored to tears, the game wasn't that difficult to play and get through. The puzzles are pretty easy, require little thought, and not very challenging. Wasn't really invested in any characters, but the game is short. I was able to knock it out in about 2 hours. Probably would have been less if I hadn't taken a break to eat dinner. Since the game is quick and easy, though, you'll get all the trophies, including that coveted platinum trophy in one playthrough, so there is that. Trails and Traces, The Tomb of Thomas 2 is available on PS4 and other platforms for $4.99, and should you buy it, I have to be fair, I personally wouldn't buy the game, but for the price point, fuck it, why not? It's 2 hours long, you'll get all the trophies if you're into that sort of thing and still have time to spare to do something else. How you spend your time is up to you, so meh, I guess, whatever. That sounds like a perfect fuck it, why not kind of game.
Yeah.
One that you're just like, eh. Oh well. Next game to talk about is called Dull Grey, developed by Provodnik Games, published by Sometimes You, released May 5th on Xbox One, Switch, PS4, and Vita for $4.99. Dull Grey is an award-winning visual novel about growing up. It tells about mother and son, free will, and the search for happiness among foggy mountains and gray pipes. Cole, tell us about Dull Grey.
This game is nothing but gray. The entire art scheme for this game is just like a frozen wasteland of white with some shadowy ink washes. Like, you can almost see where they scanned in the paper for these images. And the ink washes, you can see like the texture for the cold pressed paper. From an art standpoint, I like what's there, but the game is presented as like a visual novel almost. And you only have a couple of choices. That said, the whole point of the game is to make it seem like you only have a couple of choices, whereas you're expected to actually change the outcome with only the choices that you're given. I had a really goddamn hard time getting anything other than the shitty endings, though. For what it's worth. the game is 15 minutes long. That's actually reading the story and understanding what impact your decisions are going to have on it. The story is about a boy named Kiryusha and his mother, and it tells about how his father was a lamplighter and had an unfortunate accident, and now a couple years later, it's Kiryusha's time to choose what his career is going to be. And throughout the whole game, even though it's supposed to be Kiryusha's decision, you're making the choice as his mother to speak up as to whether he's going to be a lamplighter or a tallyman. There are a couple of chances that will pop up for you to say, I've changed my mind. One particular time I got it to pop up that option, and it just flat out told me that I had an 11% chance of getting a positive outcome.
Gee.
I think there's 12 or 13 endings, if I remember, somewhere in that area. And only one of them is any good. They're all shit otherwise. And it was so frustrating to be making these choices, and the game is taunting you like, oh, you could do something different. And you're like, no, I fucking can't, because I've got yes or no over here and nothing else. So I'm gonna need a guide to go back and actually figure out how to unlock a positive ending, because everything I've gotten sucked eggs. It's all like your family falls apart and you die lonely, you fall into a pit and get boiled like your father, and like it's very dystopian, and it leaves you no hope and no joy, and it's just kind of
sounds cheery. So $5?
So you know what? It's a hard sell. It is, and I don't hate it, but it's such a hard sell, because who the fuck wants to play such a depressing game? Like, there is, at least, even with games like Distraint, where it's sad and depressing, like, there's fleeting moments of hope. But this feels like there's literally nothing but just, like, yeah, even though you know there's one potential good ending, even the chances of getting it are so low that you're like, what's the point? And it does make it a harder sell. Which is kind of why I'm not going for a buy it on it. I really, really enjoyed the landscape scenery. The couple of scenes where like there's supposed to be character models in shadow, you could tell that the scenery had been done with an ink wash, but like somebody without any kind of digital art skills had tried to put in these blocky. It just didn't work as well. It didn't look as good. So those scenes are not as good. The landscape itself is, though. Man, I feel like I'm gonna shit on this, and I didn't hate it, but I also didn't find any hope or joy or anything. It was just...
Did you find achievements at least?
No, I got 2 for fucking shit up.
Jeez.
So even the achievements are... Well, I might have had a couple others. But it was still like, I'm gonna have to go back with a guide. Thank goodness it's only 15 minutes, because I don't know if I can... I am Captain Sunshine and Rainbow Glitter shit over here, okay? I am naturally one of those people who, no matter how shitty I feel, I'm like, but I didn't die. And this game even made me go, ugh. And it's really hard for me to be like, hey, yeah, you should go play that. Because, no, I don't want to spread that hopelessness.
No, I need a verdict.
A hesitant try it?
Hesitant fuck it?
No, I don't think I could. It's so depressing, I don't think I could even go with a fuck it. And that makes me feel bad. It's just that it's so dark and depressing.
Well, you know what's going to make things even more dark and depressing? We got to get Aki on. So let's get her in here. It is time to get Dark Mika.
She's going to spend all her time yelling at me for taking NieR.
That would be great if the whole time that she's here is just like, listen, Cole, fuck you.
I'm ready.
Fuck you.
I'm ready for it.
Fuck you. It's calling. We're just waiting. God damn it. Aki, where are you? Aki!
She's over there looking at that Wikipedia page I put in chat.
Of Kaine?
Yeah.
Jesus. Lately, Skype has been shit. That's really...
Skype has always been shit.
Yeah, that's nothing new.
Like, you should have been prepared for Skype to have been shit. You should have been like, Jacob left, that's one shit down. Let's now refresh Skype, because that would be 2 shits down.
Dark Mika is unavailable. God damn it. Now we have to stall for time. What the fuck do we do? We
could have just, like, been quiet and let the silence thingy shrink it for us and like nothing happened, but no, we ain't that polished.
No, we're not. I have a cat on my lap though. Coltrane has been all over me this episode.
I did see the kitty.
Been very covered in cats this episode. Like, they've been surrounding me this entire episode. Pork's been over here. Bean has been on. Bean is never in my room. She was in here bugging me. Yes, play this game. Play the game of cats.
Kitties. I had to start separating all my cats because they would decide that while we were recording was the time they wanted to like do the zoomy, go crazy and play and jump and do parkour off of my curio cabinets. And I was just like, I can't have that happening behind me.
Fuck
so now
you,
it's like, huh? Hi, Aki.
Just fuck you. Shit. God.
Aki, how are you doing?
I'm sorry you missed it.
Well, I was great until I found that this shithead got a game I really want. Fucking asshole.
Hey, I wanted it too. I had to buy it. So
you should have told her to fuck off.
You have
kept it for yourself.
The funny thing is, I bought it because we got rejected on it. And then we got it.
Did you even play enough that you could have reviewed it?
Me?
Yeah.
I have like 6 hours in it right now, so no.
You don't even have farming yet.
I'm not the one playing it for review.
Yeah, but you could have.
But I'm not.
No, but if you buy it, you don't have to.
Yeah, I'm playing it at my own pace. Plus,
See,
I have like baseball to play every day. I got so much shit on my plate. Listen, Aki.
But there's half-naked people in that.
I cry.
Yeah.
We want to talk about having so much. I cry.
Oh, man. All right. We got one final game to talk about tonight. That is called Crime Opera, The Butterfly Effect, developed by Crime Opera Studios and Ratalaika Games, published by eastasiasoft, released April 28th on Xbox One, Series X and S, and Switch for $9.99. Following the sudden death of a mafia family member's matriarch, her sons Gerald and Xander are put on the defensive as former partners threaten to take over their collective business ventures for themselves. See through the eyes of the Gallo children as they witness murders, kidnappings, and other crimes wrought upon their households by their own fathers. This sounds like another happy one, Aki. Tell us about it.
Okay. So, God, where to start with this fucking game? Okay, so
start at the beginning. What is this game?
It's a visual novel, and I can't even tell you which type because it's both. It's both a kinetic, which means there are no options, and an adventure one, which means there are options. You get to choose at the very start of the game which one you want to play it as. I decided to go with the kinetic one because 90% of everyone who plays this, if not more, is going to be an achievement hunter. He's going to flip onto that, and then are just going to auto-scroll through the entire thing and never see a single part of it because that's what people do with these games. So I was like, I'll just play the way they're going to play it without just speeding through all of it. And I regret that choice. Very heavily, I regret that choice. As it says, it goes through the children's eyes. There's a father who has 3 or 4 kids, another who has 2 or 3. The oldest is 15 years old. The youngest is like 2 or something. And it goes through all their eyes. Each chapter is looking through a different child's eyes. And let's just, to explain just what this game is and how miserable it is as an experience, I willfully chose not to finish the game. I've never done that with a visual novel, because it's just reading. I like reading. I like stories. I chose not to finish this. I got a quarter of the way in, and I was like, just no. This is no. The stuff it deals with is messed up as hell. Which, I mean, it makes sense. You're in a crime family, but for fuck's sake, it goes a bit far. And to further that, let me just tell you the first of 24 chapters. I'll just give you a little gist of the very first chapter. Every chapter takes like 10, 15 minutes for those of you who read at normal pace. It took me about 30 for each. The first chapter is the 12-year-old, the oldest daughter of one of the men. Her entire story was her talking about how she didn't like being older, being a grown-up. At 12, let me remind you, because her punishments had increased from being smacked to being backhanded by her father.
Jeez.
Yeah, that is at the very end of that chapter. He's coming at her, angry, rolling his sleeves up, and most of the game is a lot of inner monologue. There is a lot of it that's also the characters talking, but there's a whole bunch of inner monologue through the child you're looking through. And her inner monologue's like, I'm going to cover my face. It's not going to help. It's just going to make things worse, because he's just going to pull my arms away, and it's just going to make everything worse. And I'll give him big puppy dog eyes, but that never works either. It just makes things worse. It's like, yeah, that's chapter 1 for you. It's like, at that point, I was already like, oh no, maybe I shouldn't have grabbed this one, because damn. And then the next chapter begins with basically a kid saying he doesn't like his babysitter, and then it talks a little bit about her inner monologue again. Talks about how she's like a bodyguard for her father, because she's always around, except for she's there more often than the bodyguard, especially at night. And she must be real good friends with the kid's mom, because the mother always sleeps down on the couch, because the babysitter's always screaming so much. And the kid isn't quite sure what's so fun going on in the parents' bedroom, because they won't let him see. And then he's taught to call her a whore, and told the meaning is a woman who has too much time on her hands with nothing to do. That's the start of
this is another
2.
happy game. Another cheerful.
No. I got to part way into chapter 7. I was just like, I can't keep doing this, because every chapter is just out of the first 7 chapters. One of them was like, okay, this isn't bad. The rest of them were like, this is fucked up, this is fucked up, this is fucked up, this is fucked. That's all it was. And I was like, this is making me very uncomfortable.
Well, I have to ask, $10. What's your verdict?
On one hand, it's really easy to get the completion, because you can literally just set it to skip everything, click the kinetic mode, and literally skip everything. You only have to push a button in between each chapter to tell it if you want to play the tips, which is just a little extra side bit that gives you some background about what's going on. Other than that, it just runs straight through. And you can there's 24 chapters at least, because the last achievement is for beating chapter 24. So it's really easy to beat. So I'm like, on one hand, I'm like, yeah, go buy it. But on the other, I'm like, I don't really want to be like, yeah, go buy it, because then people are going to make this again. And I'm like, let's make something not as just fucking horrific. So if you really don't...
we ended on 2 bangers.
Yeah. So, if you don't care about the implications of everyone buying this, go for it. If you are worried about the implications, don't get it.
Huh. I don't know how to end a show after 2 fucking reviews like that just...
Yeah.
Cool. How's things going on your end?
Oof.
She's probably playing NieR Replicant just to piss me off a little more.
I'll tell you what I was doing. I actually did play a game while you were talking because I don't want to listen to you. And
I listen to your shit. Fuck you.
Yeah, because you want to be jelly because I get the good shit.
I do it out of respect. I even listened to Jacob and his worthlessness.
No, you don't. Don't lie.
No, I did. I really did. I promise. I didn't care about any of it, but I did listen.
So I want to mention Rootbeer had posted a game, an itch.io game that a friend of his had done, and it's called The World's Greatest Fisherman.
I missed
it's a short, I don't know, ever how long Taki was talking, that's how long it took me to play through the whole game.
Like 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, you have a little fisherman on a little boat, and he's got his little pole, and then you control the line and the hook, right? So it's 4 buttons. You're up, down, left, and right. You press down, the hook goes down. Press up, hook goes up, left, right, as it does. As you're progressing downward, the levels start to actually change a little. So initially you're just going down and collecting the fish, and then you've got to actually start to get past a few obstacles. It'll be something mundane, like it's just swerving left and right. Then it gets to this weird ass level where you legit have to like wrap the line around electrical nodes and connect them to open doors and go through like a maze. I was so into how like creative this tiny little 10-minute indie single person had done this game. I'm so into it, and the ending completely caught me off guard, and I'm glad I muted because I went when it got to the ending, I had such a good time with it. I really enjoyed it. So if you're looking for a little 10-minute try something new, The World's Greatest Fisherman on itch.io.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
There. Happy note.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyone have any final words to end the show?
Fuck you, Cole.